Hey, what's up YouTube? James Polk here, and upon deck testing at last week's locos, it's doing okay for so far, and I decided to play test a new deck that I have just got done recently throughout the past Saturday, and the deck profile I'm doing is Speedroids. So let's jump to the deck. 3 Terratops. If you control no monsters, you can special summon this, so that's your Cyber Dragon. And when this card is normal or special summon, I can search for any Speedroid monster I want except Terratop. So you have to play 3 because that's your search card. Then 3 Tagetumborgs. And what's very interesting about the Tagetumborg is that, like, if you open up both Terratop and Tagetumborgs, you can just go ahead and make explosive plays out of those 2 cards as your open hand. But the Tagetumborg states that if you control a wind monster, you can special summon this from your hand. And its other effect is that I can tribute the Tagetumborg, special summon a Speedroid tuner, and if the tributing effect happens, I cannot special summon any other monsters except wind monsters. Currently 2 red-eye dice. The Tagetumborg and the red-eye dice combo works perfectly. And it states that when red-eye dice is normal or special summon, target 1 Speedroid monster you control except the red-eye dice itself. Declare a level between 1 through 6. That's the level it becomes. So you get to make up the explosive plays like Chambara, Kendama, even Hastor. 3 double yo-yos. First of all, according to the artwork of Double Yo-Yo, I really love the artwork of it though. But the effect of Double Yo-Yo is that when this card is normal summon, I can target 1 level 3 or lower Speedroid monster in my graveyard, special summon it. So he's pretty good in certain situations. 3 Mankos. Those are your battle faders of Speedroids. When your opponent's monster declares a direct attack while Manko's in my hand, I can negate that attack, special summon this, and change all face-up monsters your opponent controls to defense position. And 3 Tri-Eye Dice. Those are your Necro Gardener of Speedroids. Just during your opponent's turn while Tri-Eye Dice is in a graveyard, you can banish this, negate that next attack. 1 Expressroid just to recover Speedroid monsters from my graveyard, just to make up bigger plays. 1 Absolute King Backjack, just cause it's Backjack. And Windrose, the Elemental Lord. Now, upon my last deck profile with Geargias about Grand Soil, the Elemental Lord, Grand Soil has to deal with 5 Earth monsters in graveyard. But in this one, Windrose is 5 wind monsters, and if the special summon successfully happens, Windrose is the Harpy's Feather Duster of the Elemental Lords, meaning destroy all of your opponent's spell trap cards your opponent controls. And yep, that's it for the monsters. For the spells, 1 Book of Moon, 1 Foolish Burial, and 1 for 1. The 1 for 1 is for the red-eye dice. 2 Speed Recoveries and 2 Shock Surprise. The Speed Recoveries lets me reborn a Speedroid monster from my graveyard, and during my main phase, except the turn it was sent to the graveyard, I can banish this, target 1 Speedroid monster from my graveyard, add it back to my hand. And the shock surprises, those are my Icarus attacks. Just banish up to 2 Speedroid monsters and target that many cards on the field to destroy them. So the shock surprises are my Icarus attacks. Monster reincarnation. 2 MSTs. Sometimes I had to use the MSTs, like whenever what's that monster? There it is. Sometimes when it comes to old entity Hastor being equipped to my opponent's monsters, meaning that it cannot attack or effects are negated and such, that's as if Hastor is in a spell trap zone. Sometimes I had to space my own stuff if I have to while Hastor is on the face up on the field as a spell trap zone. And 1 machine assembly line, because the main deck, which are mostly Speedroids, are mostly machines, so they can get that potential boost up. And if that wasn't enough, I can recover 1 machine type monster equal to or less than the number of the junk counters. That's it for the spells. And for the traps, compulse. 2 dice roll battles. The dice roll battle states that when this card, or not when this card, excuse me, when an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can target 1 Speedroid monster in my graveyard, banish both a Speedroid tuner and the Speedroid non-tuner you targeting, synchro summon 1 monster offering an extra day equal to those 2 Speedroid levels total. And during my opponent's battle step, I can banish this, have both face attack position monsters attack my synchro monsters. It's like a little one-on-one type of way though, but it is pretty good in certain situations. 3 supercharges. While I only control machine type Roid monsters, whenever my opponent attacks, I draw 2 cards. So basically this is essential to like the Roid version of Reckless Greed, but this can come up during those times. 1 Karma Cut just cause it's Karma Cut. Breakthrough Skill just cause it's Breakthrough Skill. And 1 Safe Zone. Like if I were ever to have my boss monsters out, I can have the Safe Zone come in and just keep that monster alive at all costs though. So, and as of the extra deck, two high Speedroid Chambaras, 2 high Speedroid Kendamas, and 2 old entity Hastor. And what's common about all of those guys from the extra deck is that all of those are wind, so I can pretty much play off from the Tagetamborg Red Eye Dice combo. The Chambaras lets me declare an attack 2 times, and it gains 200 attack for at the start of the damage step, so it'll become at 24. And when Chambara is sent to the graveyard, target 1 banished Speedroid card, doesn't have to be a monster, add it back to my hand, which is pretty amazing though. And the Kendamas, it's just pierce battle damage, which is pretty sweet. And he also lets me banish a machine, burn for 500, and hit. The other effect of Kendama is that while Kendama's in the graveyard, while I control nothing, Kendama comes back. And if the second effect is used, I cannot normal or set the turn I activate this. Is it normal set? Yeah, normal summon or set summon. So to get around that thing, flip summon or special summon. And as for the Hastors, I really love Hastor so much That's because, like, the own effect of Hastor stating that while Hastor is sent from the monster zone to the graveyard, while I can see my opponent's monster, I can have Hastor equipped to that one monster that cannot attack, and the effects are negated. And as I said from earlier, sometimes I have to space my own Hastors if I have to, just so I can take control of my opponent's monsters. And yet, like I said from earlier, all of those are wins, so which is pretty sweet. One Zeta, I can easily make that. One Goyle Predator, don't just like jump to conclusions and all, but I really know that Goyle Guardian is better and all that. Just one small note of that is that I never in my life had Goyle Guardian as part of my collection before, so I decided to pick up a Goyle Synchro monster just for the heck of it though. But Zeta, I really love Zeta so much though, because like the fact that it's a generic rank, generic level 7, I can just have my opponent stop my opponent's boss monster from attack declaration. And Goyle Predator lets me steal a monster. Basically, it's Goyle Guardian, but if I use the effect, the damages are cut in half. And then for the lower level guys, just because of like the red eye dice and such like that, but are from different card effects, except Tagetamborgs. The Herald and the Underworld Fighter, generic force. And the explosive plays are Thought Ruler Archfiend, Hot Red Dragon Archfiend, Red Dragon Archfiend, Angel of Zera, and Stardust Spark Dragon. One Stardust Spark Dragon to protect my safe zone. And with that being said there, oh, by the way, for the Speedroid deck, I decided not to do a side deck for him yet because I'm still testing the deck, and throughout the week I just wanted to see how the Speedroid deck goes and see if it's approved to me. But without further ado, this is my Speedroid deck profile. This is James Polk signing out.